All right, hey there. Good morning, everybody. Christopher Franks with Texas West Capital. It is just after 11 a.m. Central Standard Time here on Monday, the 2nd of November, 2020. San Antonio, Texas. It's a beautiful day outside here, guys. Hopefully it is nice wherever y'all are. Who's here already? We got Sir Hold. We got Pedro. Hank, what's up? We've got Greg. We've got Masoud. What's going on, buddy? LG is here. Wind Beneath Wings. What's going on, man? French Bull checking in, as always. Good to see you guys checking in here. When it came to Friday, again, it was just a whole bunch of sideways. I gave Discord a few levels to look at. I said if it goes above this level, then it takes out all these possibilities and leaves that. If it goes the other way, then it takes out these other possibilities, leaves that. So it went up over the weekend. It hit that 14,100 level there on, I believe it was Bitstamp. And it's decreased since then. It's down $900 over the weekend. Now, is that it? Is that what we're going to get, or is there going to be further down? Is this the beginning of a decline? I mean, what's going on? We'll find out. Talk about some possibilities today. There's a lot of people talking about it, the second highest monthly close. And I just sit here and I say, so what? The reality of it is the first monthly, the highest monthly close was 30% lower than the swing high on that month. That swing high was around 20 grand. And that close was around 14 grand. So, if you tell me, oh, it's the second highest monthly close, I say, so what? It wasn't like there was any definitiveness of action in that highest monthly close. It wasn't like, oh, price closed up there near the highs. Price closed down significantly. So it's no big deal that price closed, a little bit lower than that this time. I don't believe so anyway. I think people are getting a little hyped up, try to look at anything they can to kind of massage their bullish emotional bias right now. And again, that doesn't mean it won't go up. I just mean that if we're honest about it, what's the big deal? So what? If it closes, if we have the highest monthly close, who cares? It's still, if we beat that other one by $1, it'll give us the highest monthly close ever. But we're still down 30% below the swing high, below the all-time high. So it's not a big deal. It's really not. But again, I just trying to point that out there because, obviously it's going to upset a lot of people who are emotionally bullish. Not that I'm trying to upset them, but let's be real here. That's usually what happens, right? Because I don't tell you everything's going up all the time. So it is what it is. Hey there, Bianca. Good to see you. Let's see here. What is that? It says Daphne loves... Derby. Oh, Daphne loves Derby official. Okay, good to see you checking in as well. Sorry, I had to read that all out there. Sharon, what's going on? X2000 is here. Helder's here. Brian, what's going on? He says, when's the real dump? Dennis is here. Candle Shepherd, good to see you. X2000 says that the highest monthly close, there's only one option, short it. Again, guys, it's the relevance of that, how close is that monthly close to the high? That's what you're looking at. Again, 30%, that's huge, guys. It's $6,000 lower than the high. And we were lower than that. So, I mean, I can't get all excited about that. But hey, you know what? Join us over here at howtotradetowin.com, guys. We'd love to have you there. We've still got tiers 1 and 2 open at this time. So, again, if that's something you've been waiting for, jump on it because once they're closed, like last time, it may be months before they open again or even longer. Again, we've got limited spots in those. And we kind of just keep it out there until they fill up and then close them off again just to make sure that we're not getting too many people into those levels that we can't, provide good service to. So that's what we're doing there. Tier 3, over 30 hours of educational content, over 50 setups every week. We got 20 different assets that we update daily and intraday. Gold, silver, multiple cryptocurrencies, multiple... Forex pairs. We've got the NASDAQ, the S&P E-minis, and the Dow Jones that we also do on that, plus the DXY. So lots of stuff there, oil, natural gas. Lots of stuff that we do daily and intraday there, plus the 50-plus setups, plus all that education there. So come check us out, guys. We'd absolutely love to have you there. Let's go ahead and jump on over here. Hey, what's going on, Stuart, man? Good to see you, buddy. Haven't seen you been able to check in a while. So the one thing I want to talk about here is, at least on Bitstamp, we've got a bearish SFP. We've got the swing high over here in June of 2019. And we got this high here this week. Excuse me, this last week. The weekly pushed above it, closed below it. The same thing on the monthly. Pushed above it, closed below it. Now, that said, I'm not too... if we had a bigger wick here, I'd be a little bit more gung-ho about the potential bearish SFP here. But we didn't. So we'll have to see how we play out now. But right now, we've done what we need to do. We've got almost a year and a half worth of time between the two highs there. And then we got a wick up and it closed back below. Let me see. I wonder if that's on any other one. Anybody know if that's not on any of them? Because that could be a big something to do here. But is there? Let me see. If we check here on... see, I mean, if we look at... see, if we look at BitMEX, I feel a little bit more bearish about it. You see that larger wick here on BitMEX? Oh, I'm sorry, this is Coinbase. On Coinbase here, so we had the swing high was over here down at 13,868. And then we got the high here at 14,098. So a nice big wick there on the weekly and on the monthly here. So that looks more convincing as a bearish SFP. Still not fantastic. Still not a real... I would like to have seen a bigger wick, a lower close, a little bit more away from here. We're still kind of close by that. So I'm not immediately like, oh yeah, it's definitely got to go down. But I'm telling you right now, if you're not paying attention to the downside possibilities after this, you're kind of really setting yourself up to maybe get caught. All right. Let me see here. Let's see here. What's going on, Chemo? What's going on, man? How do I know when I'm wrong on the bearish idea? Well, let's see here. I think, the earliest place I could go, you know what, really, I don't think it's going to happen, is if we're really kind of impulsively moving through like 18.2, 18.3. Because at that point, you can still get a ABC, and you close between that 90 and 100% of the retracement of this high here. And so, everybody assumes this is an ABC right here. So if this is an ABC and you get an A, a B, and a C up here around 90 to 100% retracement of this move, ABC down, ABC up, they get you a flat. And then you look for C to come on down here to this area. Not to go below it, to get down here. If you've got 5 down here, you potentially get an ABC above the swing high here and get a flat, an expanded flat, in which case then it could come down below. What else could you do? If you see this instead of an A, B, C, if you see this as 1, 2, 3, 4 is the triangle and 5 here, so 5 down and then A, B, C up right here, you've got a zigzag, and that'll get you down there at least to this 2,400 kind of area. So it's not just because I want to be bearish or anything like that, guys. It's these real potential counts, real possible counts working out here. So we just continue playing along the way, right? The time to go long, if you wanted to go long, we told everybody down here. This is where you go long. Not very many people listened. We had some that listened to Discord, made a ridiculous amount of money. Everybody else was scared this entire way up. It was going to get, reversed every $1,000 or whatever. We kept telling them, no, it's going to go up there. Gave them this target up here. Everything worked out fine. Dealing with this right now. So this was the time to go long. This was the time to go long, longer term. This is not the time you go long here and go, oh yeah, they start thinking 40,000. You can go long here and think shorter term. But again, with these other possible corrections, corrective sequences playing out, you might be closer to a top than not. And notice I said might. I get out here, everybody's like, oh, you're so bearish. I said, well, I've never guaranteed anything's going to happen. I said I'm watching these more bearish alternatives because of macro stuff that's going on, because of what's going on with the dollar, things like that make more sense. But in no way is it ever guaranteed. Even with that, we still have to have it come down through those other levels. Otherwise, this could be 1, 2, and this could be, a 3 that it's working up here. So you've got to play it bit by bit. If you didn't buy down here when we told you to buy down here, or you didn't buy down here when we told you to buy down here, then trying to buy here thinking 40,000 is not the way to do it. It may get there, but there's a heck of a lot more risk buying here with that long-term mindset than there was buying down here or here with that mindset. So, oh, no worries. I'm not offended, Chemo. Not at all. Not at all. I appreciate you asking, man. Because I think that's what, again, guys, I get so much hate mail. Believe it or not, God. I know it's easy to think, right? But I get so much hate mail, and I go and I have to shake my head just in disbelief because these are people who have no clue what they're doing in the markets. They're emotionally bullish. They're getting their news from the people that aren't traders that are just big mouths online. Maybe done well in other businesses, and they think that, that all of a sudden they know what they're talking about here. People think that. But nobody, really considers these other possibilities that are very much possible. So, we'll continue to see what happens with it. None of that guarantees it's going to go down. But again, you have to understand, guys, if you wanted to be long till 40,000 or more, this was the place to do it. This was the place to do it. This is where we told everybody, we buy here. I said, this is where we can buy. I said, this is where we can buy. Here, you can go long, but with the thought that maybe it'll go toward 40,000 or something from here. But with the idea being you're definitely going to trade a much more shorter term until you're getting some bigger confirmation that it is. Let's see here. Yeah, a wave B can get up to 22, 23,000. Yeah, exactly. Because what you're looking at, in that case, you would have 5 down here, and you have an A, B, and a C going up. And usually it's get up there about the 123.6 extension, 123.6% extension usually of this bit here. So, get up there a bit, and then, could reach, and it would, if it was expanding flat, it would come down below this swing low. Now, it could also do that and pull back 61.8 or 100%. Just get down here, and be a really 61A is where you're looking. It'd just be what we call I can't even think. It's a flat. Yep, can't think of it. Running flat. There we go. Running flat. I was thinking advancing. Running. Basically, this would get you an A down here, a B up here, and then like a C down here. And then go up. So, there's other possibilities that could be in there as well. The different things that going on. I guess if you want to think of the triangle, you can go ABC, ABC, ABC. So then you can get this triangle thing. If you're still the triangle person, you can get this kind of triangle thing going on, where you get an A, a B, a C, a D, an E. Kind of idea. So as you can see here, there's a lot of other possibilities here. So nothing guarantees that we're definitely going up from here. But I think that's the part that most traders miss, unfortunately. And I'm trying to help you guys not miss stuff like that. Now on the bullish side, we are above the R1 pivot here on the monthly and the weekly. Let me see. Let's close this off here. There we go. See? Now, if we're declining back below that, then it starts getting a little interesting. If we're getting below this 11,700 kind of area here, which is this swing high resistance, or not swing high, but this resistance and then support level here. I guess that's probably close to about 11,500, 11,600. If we're getting below that, things get more interesting. If we drop below this level here, these are the big levels, this 9,800, 9,850 kind of level. We get below that, things get more interesting. If we're looking at bigger term pictures there. So, just kind of keep that in mind. But right now, yeah, we've got, I'm not sure if there is a chart out here where where it went above and the body closed above the swing high. Phoenix. Let me see here. Oh, Phoenix. Maybe I'm Phoenix. Let me see here. 13,764. And we closed at 13,756. Nope. Closed below. Now, barely. It just barely closed below, and that makes me a little cautious on the idea of that. But, again, this one closed here. Or this had a swing high at $13,764. And then you closed this candle here at $13,756. So you close this candle $8 lower than this candle. But it's a lower close nonetheless. It's just that that close is so close to that we really need to see some fall through here to really start feeling this as a bearish SFP. Let me see here. Hey, mail comes from traders that aren't traders. Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's the way it really is. It's people who are very emotionally kind of, caught up in what's going on. And I get it. I get it, but it doesn't do them any good to be that way. It really kind of causes them a lot of issues. This is the BLX. I'm looking for, let me see here. This is BitMEX. Was that cool? No. These things are not coming up with good with good things at the top there. This is Coinbase. This one over here is Bitstamp. We already talked about that one closing lower than the swing high there. Let me see here. Is that the BLX as well? Well, then this one up here should be... Oh, this is BitMEX. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's one of those weeks, guys, that's just started. All right. Let's see here. BitMEX. What did BitMEX do? BitMEX closed up here at, let me see, it had a high of 13,920. Closed at 13,756. So a few $100s below that. Again, potential bearish SFP there. The only one I could think would maybe be Binance. Did Binance do it? Let me see here. And that's USDT, though. I'm not sure I'm such a about that, but we're only looking at, SFPs here. Look at that. Yeah, it looks like they closed below 13,970 on Binance. It closed at 13,761. So again, another couple of $100 closed below. So yeah, I can't really seem to find an exchange where price actually closed above it on the weekly or monthly. So, again, with it being as close as it is, I'm not as strongly like, oh yeah, it's definitely a bearish SFP and we're going to see price come down. But if we get some fall through over the next 2 weeks, and this is a bearish SFP here, we should be looking for price to come on down low. Probably 8,000 or 7,000 at least. Because that's what SFPs do. When you have those swing failure patterns, they usually send price to the other side of the range. And I'm giving it a little benefit of the doubt, keeping it up here, mid-range or whatever, just because of all this history we've got in this area, but could very well see it coming all the way down there. But, again, that's going to need to see some fall through with a few weeks there. By the way, guys, if you haven't been paying attention, I talked about this before. Let me see here. Let me get back to where the heck Bitstamp is. It's the chart I've got everything on at the moment. All right. And if you're wondering about, about what I've been talking about, I mean, this would be basically your A, your B, and then you get your C down here. Again, that gets you down here. And by the time it got down here, I don't think it would happen here by the end of the year. I don't know. We've got 2 months left. And these monthly pivots will reset at the end of the year. But, this is fresh demand here. It hasn't been touched before. So I could see a bounce coming off the top of it. Again, it gets you down there around that 2,400 area that we were talking about. And it would fill in this this flag-looking thing here. The thing I'm most interested about this potential flaggish pattern here is this EQ. Look at how perfectly that sits there. If we run off this swing high and this swing high right here, the all-time high and last month's high, and then run it here off the December 18 low. Look at that EQ. Look at this works right here. It's resistance in July and August of 18, And then support coming up here, November of 19, December of 19. The candle body there on March of 20. Again, right here in April of 20. You see how that works? So, if we're dropping below that, there's a lot of reason to think we'd be heading down here to the bottom. But, just to get down there is a long way down from where we are at the moment. So things we'd have to do to get down there first. Let me see here. Let me kind of catch up with you guys going on here. Hey, what's going on, Uthbane? The body is bigger with what, buddy? With what? What are you looking at? Are you talking about the SFPs? Because the bodies are closing below the swing highs there. That's what we're kind of looking at the moment. Let me know if that's what you were talking about, or if you were looking at something else. Let me see here. Devin, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Hank, what's going on? He says the second dip was a few hours only. Gotta remember the panicked phone calls during what was the middle of the night here. Funny. What are you talking about? R2 pivot is up here. The R2 pivot is up here around 18,650 or so. And so my thought is if we're heading up through this area, that's overall a good target area, I believe. Is going to be that 18,600, 18,400 kind of area right here. But again, the thing with that is, especially if you believe this is an ABC here, like most people look at this here, they see this triangle, which we've discussed. So you get this this A, B, C kind of thing here to bring that down. And then what gets with that is now then we would have this as an A, B, potentially a C up here. Well, now the thing about that is what I was talking about earlier about the flat. An ABC down followed by an ABC up. And then ABC, that B, that second leg up there, that one up, you should be looking for that 90% to 100% retracement. So again, 17,970 or so. You want to get above that. That gets you right in there. And it hits the EQ of this supply structure. So again, does that then equate to a flat here? You get an A, you get a B, and in that case then you get a C here. But, your C, where does your C retrace at that point? The first place you look is the 61.8. So the first place I'd look is 94.13 here. If this were to play out as an ABC and then an ABC up to here and get rejected, first place I'd look is 94.13. I'd look at the channel support here, or the channel EQ. Well, that won't even be there then. I'm sorry, never mind. That won't even be there then. So once you get down to 61.8, I'd start looking closer to the 100% retracement here, kind of this 3,000 area here, 3 to 4,000 area. But if it's just a regular flat, C should terminate around where A terminates. Though, like I said, you give it the 61.8 first on that retracement. So, definitely some possibilities here, depending on how you want to look at it, how you want to play it. But what you absolutely need now is some continuation and some follow-through. Don't forget, we had the TD9 here on the 3-day. Last week, that closed on the 27th of last week. Right up here at resistance, we've had the one tick up there and pull back, and now we've got this. What I think is really interesting overall here, though, let me kind of turn this off here. All right, look at this. Look what's going on here. So you got price running up. It gets rejected, right? Pulls back. And then it peaks up about, and then it closes below. And then it peaks up, it's getting rejected again. This 13,880, which is this swing high from June of last year, the only thing it's let through is this wick right here. Everything else is it's all closing below it. That's significant. If you can't get a close above that, you should be looking for further downside. Absolutely. Again, with the daily, we had this multi-month bearish divergence here from back on the 1st of August until the 27th of October. And then from the 27th of October here to the 31st of October, we had some steeper bearish divergence right there as well. So that's kind of playing off. Now, at this point, we've got possible hidden bullish divergence right here between the 28th of October and today. So the 28th of October is this one. So if we close above this swing low here, which is 12,892, if we close above that, we may get some reversal higher. Maybe. But we need to get confirmation. We need to see confirmation follow through the next day. Because we can get that close above this, and then the next day continue lower down. You know, it's not just a close above. You need a close, which gives it a pause potential, and then you want to see candle spread going the other way, kind of like that follow through going with it. But if price drops below this 12,892 here on Bitstamp, then that hidden bullish divergence is invalidated, and I'm looking much lower here for RSI, which means price will probably be coming lower as well. When it comes to the daily, we've now moved in. The daily pivots reset. As you can see, we moved in between the pivot and the R1. So if you're trading pivots, if this continues to come down here, what I'm looking for, if I want to go long, is a bounce off the pivot area. I want to see a reversal off this pivot area. If it continues on through it, then I'm looking most likely at the S1 pivot, which is at the EQ of this demand structure here, at about 11,420, and potentially the S2 pivot down here, which is 9,050. Now, the thing about getting on below, you know, this one here, getting toward this S2, is that then takes you below the ascending channel here. And so that, if you're breaking down through that channel support, which is, you know, probably right around 11,000 or so, depending on how long it takes to get down here, based on the height of that channel, your target would be $3,351 below the point of breakdown. So wherever it breaks down, you put that on there. So that's looking at closer to the S3 down here, mid-sevens to the upper sevens, potentially. So, I mean, you don't have to worry about Elliott waves or anything like that. You can just look at this right here and go, okay, well, if you drop through the pivot, then you look at the next pivot. If you drop it through that, you look at the next one, but then going through that takes you below the channel support, which creates its own pattern here. By the way, not only is this a channel, but potentially an ascending broadening wedge here. See this right here? And so an ascending broadening wedge, again, same idea as the channel. You know, you're dropping through that wedge support, which is channel support here. Same target going down there. So that'd be the way to look at it. But again, if we're busting up from where we are impulsively, you know, I think we may see it go as high as maybe that 18.4, 18.6 maybe. And then from there, we'd have to figure, okay, now we're at the EQ of that supply structure. It's a major supply structure right below the all-time high. How big a rejection do we get there? You know, does that complete just the B wave of some flat correction or something? So yeah, some possibilities for sure. What do I think about the Bitcoin inflows and outflows of exchanges? I haven't seen it lately. I know I talked last week about, I know the recent one that I had seen was, inflows were increasing significantly. Let me see here. Oh, because they'd been leaving the exchanges quite a bit there, and then they all of a sudden started coming in. Let me catch up here. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so let's bring this back over here, I guess. So if we're looking at the exchange inflows here, you can see this is where we had that huge influx right here. Huge influx of inflows. And again, guys, that doesn't mean it was all sold right here. It means that they're getting on the exchange ready to sell. So could have been selling along the way, could have sold here, could have sold right here, just right here. Could be waiting to sell still. But if you're seeing an increase of inflows, usually that, you know, we usually assume that means it's going to be sold. You know, that your Bitcoin's going to be sold. Let me see here. Hey there, Spiral Architect. Good to see you. Candle Shepherd with the barely puns. Let's see here. What's going on, Data? Good to see you checking in, man. Hank, you're saying the second dip to 3.5 was the BitMEX issue? Okay. I don't understand the significance of you saying that, though. I'm not sure what you're trying to say about that. Hey there, Amber Lee. I appreciate you. What's going on? Said my charting on BSV was scary accurate. Let me see here. All right. Well, I'll have that I'll have that BSV update today, of course, as always. So yeah, learning risk management. Good. I'm glad you're learning the risk management. Like you said, sometimes those lessons can be painful. The idea is hopefully to hopefully keep them from being as painful as they could be. If you get involved with trading and you don't know anything about risk management or whatever, hopefully we can help to alleviate that a bit. Hey, Baker Trades, good to see you, bud. Let me see here. Estuardo, is that it? Okay, good to see you. Let's see here. How would the monthly candle have closed to have been more bullish than bearish? If it had closed, if the monthly close had closed above the, let me see here, above those, the previous swing high. So this right here, this June of 2019 swing high here, if the candle had closed above that, it would have been more bullish. Because it wicked above it and closed back below it, we call that a swing failure pattern. And what that means basically is it's a bull trap often. That the resistance is strong here. And of course, this resistance is the same as this resistance here, the candle spread here. Remember, it was the candle spread that closed there, which was the wick that closed there. And here we, pushed above it, but closed back below it. So yeah, usually it shows up, in this case, if you're going up as a bull trap. But again, I'm a little bit iffy on it because it closed so close to it. So we'll have to see how it continues to play out. But I think it's definitely something that if you're trading the market, especially if you're looking to hold for a longer period of time, and you're thinking right now, oh my God, 40,000 or something, I think this is definitely something you should keep in mind. It doesn't guarantee that it's going to come down, but I think it increases the potential for it because, it did close back down below it. Popped above it and closed back below. So there was no follow through, no ability to follow through. These guys right here were pretty strong, held that, is what it's kind of saying. Let me see here. 51, Ethereum, what's going on? It says, depending on how this month goes, so still a long time to go. Yeah, I know, right? We could have a bearish divergence from June of 2019 until this last month. Massive. Let me see here. What are you talking about? Bearish divergence from here to here. Oh, let me see. Slight. Yeah, slight. That's a long bit of bearish divergence, but definitely a possibility there. You've got a slightly lower high here on RSI. And then you've got slightly higher high here on price. Now, again, because it's slightly versus really significant, I'm a little iffy. The same thing with, again, with this potential bearish SFP here. But good catch, something definitely to watch. There's a lot of free fall space right here, in this last month on this candle up. Till it gets back down here, your mid 11s, low 11s, something like that. So this month could close on down here, and all of a sudden it starts looking pretty bad. If this monthly candle closes more than halfway down this candle spread here, you guys should be very careful because it increases the bearishness. If it closes more than 50%, so basically if this monthly close is below 12,300, that's the 50% mark, I would be cautious about longing. The lower down this closes, the more cautious I would be about, looking for higher highs anytime soon. Because you're talking about a retracement of this previous month's movement. And when you're getting more than 50% on that, especially after a good move like that, that's usually quite bearish. So we'll watch for that. That's still a long way off, though. The end of the month, guys, is still 28 days away. Long time to go. Anything can happen, guys. I know here in the U.S. we've got elections today. Oh my gosh, so much nonsense with all that. Like I said, both candidates saying they weren't just going to immediately accept the results if they were the loser. Contested elections lead to concern in the markets. They usually lead to volatility. I've already said that I expect volatility through the end of the year in the markets. Volatility is usually bearish. You know, investors want those quiet, continual up moves, you know. If you get a lot of volatility, usually that's really active and usually means the price is coming down. You know, again, when we look at the stock market, we say, well, the VIX is up. Usually the stock market's going to be down, you know, in response. So, you know, a lot of stuff going on here, guys, from that kind of perspective. But at the end of the day, as far as Elliott Wave goes, you know, a pretty clear couple of possibilities here for, you know, again, what you would call a bearish type of movement, which I just see as a large correction, guys. I know a lot of y'all have trouble understanding this, but for me, this is all bullish. For me, this is a continuation. As a matter of fact, for me, if this were to come down from here or even from up here and come down, that to me would be extremely bullish because that's the final leg of the correction. The correction is almost completely done at that point. So I'm getting excited at that point if that were to happen. You know, and everybody else is like very bearish and oh my gosh, you know, and you know, they call me names and all that fun stuff because their mamas didn't teach them any better or they just chose not to learn. You know, it is what it is. But you know, if it's coming down here, guys, to me, right now, without anything else happening, right now, all that says to me is that we're finishing this large correction, which this is correcting off the last 10 years of movement. Remember, my idea is that this would be a 1, and we're working on a 2 here. And the 1 is from inception to the 2017 all-time high. 5 waves up. So, of course, you'd have a larger, longer correction here. You have to correct off all that. And then it sets up for a huge move up. So that's why I don't get too upset about the idea of it happening. I've got time. I'm okay. I'll wait for it. Now, if it goes up from here and goes up, okay, you know, I'll be happy about that too. Unfortunately, I don't see it going up as high. Potentially. There's some possibilities in there, but, you know, we'll see. But, you know, still it's movement up is money. So, you know, if you're long, so that's good. I'm not going to be upset either way, but I'm going to be really excited if we start getting that move down here. Unless something comes in down here where all of a sudden government says, you know what? You can't use Bitcoin anymore. You're going to get shot on sight if we find out that you're holding it. You know, and they're not going to say that, but you know, if it got to that kind of, you know what, you can't use it anymore, well, then I'd obviously be a lot more bearish on Bitcoin overall. I might even see it maybe coming to a possible end at that point. But until that happens, right now, any kind of large movement down like that is just a completion of this correction. So it's hard to be bearish on that. Because to me, I'm thinking, man, once that's done, sky's the limit, you know, as far as price goes there. So, just some things to think about there, guys. Just hoping to kind of rein in your emotional responses to when I talk about these larger pictures, and to kind of rein it in and just give you, you know, the logic behind it and the realization, the reality of it. And I know it's hard to do when you want to become millionaires overnight, but you know, becoming millionaires overnight isn't such a likely thing. By the way, now locally here, guys, that's the bigger picture. So locally here, here's the idea. There are a few counts that get this up and done right here, okay? However, it's possible that maybe we've got an ABC, a running triangle here, okay? So an ABC for an A, ABC for a B, ABC for a C. If this triangle is correct, then we should see Bryce pushing up here and probably heading up here toward 13.7, 13.8 kind of area for wave D. And then I would expect wave E to just pull back to the pivot here at around 13.550 or so and then head up. Now, if that's a triangle, then you've only got one more move up after that. And again, so you know, you get over here and you kind of measure that. So you got a minimum target of about 1328 above where wave E ends. That kind of gets you up here about 14,900 R2 pivot there on the 1 hour and 4 hour kind of thing. If wave E comes off here, based on the height from the swing low to the swing high there. But this would be a wave 4 that if this was a triangle, And that's your final move. If, however, price is rejected in this pivot area here, and it drops down below this ascending channel support, then you should be looking at a target here of about $1,035 below the point of breakdown. That is based on the height of this, can't get up there, of this channel. The widest height of this triangle, this channel here, that would be your target. And that would likely get you right down here around the S2 pivot, which is, again, the EQ of this upper demand structure here. So right around 12,230, 12,250, 12,220, right around that area. If we're to get a reversal, a rejection here in this area and a breakdown of this support. So locally, that's all I'm looking at. Do we get up here toward a wave D here and then pull back for wave E and then go, or do we get a breakdown of support and head on down? Now, I've got wave D right here where all this action is taking place, right below that all-time high there. I'm sorry, the June 2019 high. This kind of purple line, which is the red line, 13,880. I've got it right below that where all this activity is here. But really, the wave D can continue up as long as it does not advance above wave B here. So it's 14,100 high. Wave D just has to terminate prior to that. I think it would likely be right in this area where it's at. But it just would have to be below wave B. If it was to continue up from here, up above wave B, this triangle is not valid anymore. It'd be just probably a 1-2 or something, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the ending diagonal maybe, or something like that. So just some possibility on that. Let's see here. Candle Shepherd says, the local bearish divergence and local SFP on the daily was enough confluence for me to open a small short. Currently waiting for 12.6 to break. If it breaks, to add to it. Can't find any cleaner levels before that to add to the short, to be honest. Yeah, like I said, for me, it's this ascending support here because this is such a well-formed channel. Touch of the bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. So 5 alternating touches. Perfectly formed channel. The EQ here, look at this. Resistance, support, support, support there, support over here. So, to me, if you absolutely wanted to add on a short, I think you could do it on a breakdown of this support here. And by the way, you've got 1, 2, 3 touches on that, so that's a trend line. So a breakdown of that, especially on high volume and large candle spread, increases the odds that it's headed lower. That's what you're looking for on these trend line breaks. Now we got right here with the pivot, we got this large candle spread, large volume breakdown of the pivot. So I tend to lean toward this heading further down. Okay, because we've got the large candle spread and large volume coming through that pivot. But we definitely want to see this this rejection in this area here to head on down. Let's see. What's going on, Zet? Good to see you, man. Yeah, man, that SFP on the monthly, like I said, I don't know. We closed kind of close to the previous high. So, technically, bearish SFP. But, again, nothing's 100%. And the proximity of the close to the previous swing high just makes me iffy on it. It doesn't definitely say it's not going to happen or anything. But it does make me think, okay, well, we definitely have to be careful and watch how that's going. See what we get with that. 51, you're very welcome, man. Definitely take into account that it's only slight bearish divergence on the monthly, yeah. But right now it's definitely bearish divergence for sure, slight or not. It's definitely bearish divergence so far. So if this month starts closing down, that's going to start locking in potentially that bearish divergence. And that's a huge bit of bearish divergence on a very large time frame, which makes it very significant if it does lock in. So, yeah. Let me see here. Jay says I'm in the disbelief stage. Okay. Let me see here. Can I come back to the all exchange reserve graph on that website you were on looking at inflows? Can you look at that at a monthly yearly? Oh, no, you can't look at it on a monthly yearly on it there. Let me see if I can find that one again here. Yeah, all it gives you is the day, the hourly, and the block. That's all it gives you. So you can't look back any further than that. Unfortunately with it. We had these big outflows here. Let's see on the block here. We've got some good sized outflows right here recently. Let's see here. Whoops. God dog it. There we go. So right here on... Stop. Looks like just recently here, large bit of outflows coming out. So there are a lot of, Bitcoin leaving the exchange. But again, guys, that doesn't mean they can't be added back on there. So always keep that in mind. Remember, all these things show you or what's going on at that moment. They don't tell you what's going to happen. None of these on-chain metrics tell you what's going to happen. And so it's the same thing as when you look at RSI and stuff like that. These are lagging indicators. They don't tell you what's going to happen. They tell you what has happened. Divergences tell you what may happen, but until they're confirmed, it's still just a maybe, a possibly. But you don't even get that here on the on-chain stuff. It just tells you what has happened. And if all you have to work with is like a one time before type of thing happening, a one off or a two off, that's not I can't even say it, statistically relevant. But people hang on it all day long on crypto Twitter. So just be careful, guys. All you have to do, you don't have to change your positions on where you're looking for price to go. You just have to be aware of what the other alternatives are in case you're incorrect. Because as human beings, we're infinitely fallible by design, guys. We're going to be wrong more times than we're going to be right because we can't possibly figure out every possible result of every decision we make. Because when we make a decision, those of you that have studied logic or anything like that, you know that when you make a decision, it opens up a whole bunch of new decisions. And so whatever you decide on with those opens up a whole bunch of new ones there. And so you've got all these branches of decisions, of branches of decisions, of branches of decisions. And so you can't possibly know the ultimate outcome of the things you do. So you're going to be wrong a lot more than you're ever going to be right. That's why risk management is so important. Let's see here. Oh, man, I wish I could see what your name was there. You're saying the U.S. election can mess the markets up a lot? Man, I just cannot even read, unfortunately. The dark... It looks like a dark purple on that dark blue background. Oh, man, I'm sorry, guys. I don't even have that set up there where you can even see what's going on with the comments here. We'll see if they show up here now. For some reason, it doesn't even look like it's showing up at the moment, so we'll see. Let's see here. According to what you are discussing, is the low end of the reversal below the bottom of the channel? Let me see here. Are you talking about the large time frames there, ICG champ? Are you talking about this large thing here? I would expect the low to be around the bottom. Okay, two things. Normally, I would expect the low to be at the bottom here. However, we could see a spring coming up off the bottom here where it dips below, bear trap, pushes back up. We could definitely, because if price is dipping below, see the thing is if price is dipping below this low here, this 31.22 here on Bitstamp, that opens up a lot of possibility for a lot of strong selling to enter. But we do have a lot of good demand sitting right here in this area, as well as down here around this 11,400 area as well, down here in this candle. But, however much selling is going on here, we'll kind of determine whether we get through there or do we just kind of slice on through down lower. But normally, my first thought is to always expect it just to target the support, the channel support on that, if it was to do that. Let's see here. You don't have, what, this channel here on Binance, off main? Let me see here. I think this is the one, right? Let's see here. Or which channel are you... Oh, are you talking about the ascending channel? The local ascending channel? Right here? Let's see. We've got this one, which is the large dominant channel right here. So this is Binance here. You can see you've got this large channel. This is real perfect. Look at the, again, the EQ there is support resistance. Let me see here. If we zoom in a bit, I had another channel a little bit closer, didn't I? I think maybe, I got to figure out where that one was. Let me zoom back out here real quick. All right, this one coming off from the 20th of, the 26th of October. That's this one right here, right? Yeah. Whoops. Let's see here. You've got a similar channel. It's similar. Got a little dip above, and it stopped a little bit below here. But, you know, nonetheless, you do have these, you know, touch of the bottom, touch of the top, touch of the bottom. Slight piercing through the top of the, you know, to the top there, sends back down. Bounces just below the bottom right there. I don't know, maybe you could probably even do something like this, and that might work a little bit better right there. And in that case, you got touch of the top, top, bottom, and pierce through, and then top. So overall, the channel still works out really well. You can see that that EQ works out real well as a support and resistance area. So yeah, you still kind of got that. I think that's what you're talking about, right? Let me see here. Hey, John Smith, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you checking in, man. Yeah, off main. I see what you're talking about. Yeah. I was thinking you were talking about this one. Yeah. You know, Binance works with USDT, and, you know, it tends to be off a little bit than what the USD exchanges are doing. It tends to wick out a little bit more. You know, again, kind of like BitMEX, though BitMEX usually a bit more. But overall, the structure of the channel is pretty sound, other than, you know, depending if you get the little dip here or the little, you know, wedge or the little advance right there, little peak out. Either way, overall, the channel is pretty legitimate. And so it's worth watching. You know, we'll see what happens. Again, I'm looking for just a reject. If we can get a rejection of this pivot area, you know, again, they should see price heading lower there. Let me see here. I've got, real quick here before I go, let's see here. We've got this market profile chart I've got going on here. So during the weekend, you've got this huge, this is conviction by other time frame sellers right here. See how large this wick is up here, all these single prints? That is a strong conviction. They were strongly convicted within themselves. They had a strong conviction that that price was overvalued in this area. Hence that large bit of strong selling. And then they kind of pushed down here to a little bit above, a little bit below. They got they got double single print down here below. They got a triple single print at the top. And so, you know, as I pointed out last week, you've got this, you know, this slightly rising POC area here, point of control up there. And so that kind of suggests, you know, continuation up. But today, this is the first day in a while that it's actually lower, and it's significantly lower. So I think you really need to watch it at this moment. You need to really watch that point of control there. Now, right now, we do have some strong conviction on the buying on this side down here. Feeling that price at this moment, at least, was way undervalued down here. So you've got a pretty decent tail coming on there, pushing back up. But you definitely want to see where does price close. If price close on the lower end of this value area here, it leads to potentially some further downside tomorrow. You had your small IBR range up here and a nice move down. Easy to see. You had the large one here. Price basically stayed within that. Not a day worth trading. Definitely coming down. So this might, signal that a reversal's coming on here. You had the move up, sideways, down. So we'll see what happens with all that, but should definitely continue watching it here, though, guys. Chemo, I appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It is what it is. I don't go out there and cheerlead Bitcoin. I try to give you guys honest looks at what's going on, invalidation and validation levels. I try to give you an idea of larger macroeconomic concepts and how they might play into it, and all these things. And so that's not usually conducive to a high viewership. People want to find others online who are going to support their viewpoint, and most people just want to be emotionally bullish, and I get that. But unfortunately, that's not going to make you any money really. In the end of the day, it'll lose you a lot more, unfortunately. Hey there, Pablo. Thank you, sir. What do I think of that H4 hammer? Yeah, this is pretty bullish here. This is definitely worth watching. And this is one of the bigger reasons why I'm looking at a possible... let me get this back to the other one here. At a possible triangle, a running triangle may be forming here. Possibly. And it is because of that 4-hour... hammerish candle right here with the large wick at the bottom. Same thing I told Discord. So for me, that says, well, that increases the odds that we may be seeing a triangle here. But again, unless we can get above this pivot, well, really, you've got this, it's this area right here where you get the swing lows right around 13,650 area where you've got the support resistance. It's just right above the pivot. You've got to get through all that. If you can't get above that, I would lean down toward a lower low. This was good buying. Unfortunately, the selling would just kind of come in again and push it lower on that, something like that. So what you'd be looking at here would be like a 1-2 and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to give you a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you get you a 5 down, and then that's either an A or a 1, 2 or a B, and then 3 or a C coming down. But yeah, if you want to be bullish, this is a good start right here. But again, it's got to continue up impulsively through this pivot here and getting up there. Otherwise, it was good buying, but the supply is just really going to come in and overpower it. Sure. Well, I really do appreciate you, Chemo. Thank you so much. Pablo, you're very welcome. Crypto P&L, what's going on, man? Can you please count that whole wave on high time frame since the March dump? Not right now. There are so many possible counts on that, honestly. I've gone through multiples of them over the last few months. There really are a lot because of all the sideways. You could be looking at, you've got this big 1, 2 right here potentially. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe. Still printing out. You could be looking at maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the leading diagonal here. So 1, 2, 3 up here, and a 4 is a triangle right here. A, B, C, D, E is a triangle. And then again, 5 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 on the pullback here, and then 5 up. There's just so many. Even within that right there, even with this being a 1, 2, that opens up this to still being 3 here. So maybe, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives you a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 still up. Yeah, lots of different ways, unfortunately, to count it at the moment. And so I just prefer to look at the bigger possibilities, because the way I see it is this: if it doesn't do that larger correction that I'm talking about, then it's going up. It's bullish. That's all there is to it. And we can figure it out afterward. Price is going to go up. And I think that's probably the easiest way to look at it when you're doing it. So just be cautious on the way up. So if you look locally then at what's going on here, at this point, the two things that make the most sense. If you're going to look at a count, the one thing here that makes the most sense at the moment is this running kind of triangle. But if it is a triangle here, then again, this would be a wave 4 and this would be a wave 5. Now, is that a wave 5 of 1 locally? Is this a wave 5 of the big run? You know, that's still questionable. So you'd have to see the movement off that. But we know locally here, if this plays out this triangle, then we should probably be looking at a move up here toward, you know, almost 15,000. At least. Doing that. So, yeah. Hey, have a great day, Candle Shepherd. What's going on, Weaver? Good to see you, man. Byron, what's going on? He says, is the low end of the channel our support? This one right here? Yes. And if it goes past that down to the, well, no, I'm locally, if it goes, you just get the height of this. Just go over here, go to your price range tool. Do the height of this. And that's your pattern target. So if we break down this support here, again, there's your target down here at around $1,000 or so below that point of breakdown. Now, that could lead to lower down overall, but that's it. Now, if you're talking about this larger one here, this is a larger channel here. So, again, if you get the breakdown of this channel support here, then based on the height of this channel, your target should be about $3,350 below the point of breakdown. If it happens. I'm not telling you it's going to happen, but I'm saying if it happens, guys. So, yeah, easy. It's easy, basic kind of pattern spotting, support levels and whatnot to watch to see where it may be headed there. Othbane, you're very welcome, my friend. You're very welcome. Let me see here. All right, yeah, so that's going to do it, guys. By the way, real quick here, DXY. DXY keeps pushing, guys. Hey, you're very welcome, Byron. I'm glad it makes sense, bud. Right now we talked about this being potentially an ABC here. The problem is we've got now a higher high. So the other count is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that we're working on toward this R1 pivot maybe. Minimum. But again, you got a 1 here, and then you've got an A, B, C as a flat correction here. Potentially. Or I guess, I don't know. Maybe you could have a 1, 2 here, and then this is a 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 higher up. How this is playing out. But I mean, it's clearly, you've got at least a 1 here, a 1, 2, and a 3 and a 4. And I mean, you've got at least a 5th wave here, which really makes, it's getting us 5 waves. And 5 waves, is an, a motive wave, which means you should be getting 3 back and then 5 more forward. The problem with that, as far as this goes as a triangle here, is we're getting pretty close. Remember, if we get above this swing high up here, this 94.739 or whatever, if we're getting above that, that should kind of tell us, hey, this bottom's most likely in here. This isn't 3, this is 5, and then we're kind of moving up, 1, 2, 3, or maybe 1 with the D as a flat, a running flat, where you've got wave B terminates above where wave A started, and wave C terminates down here. Oh, I'm sorry, God, dog, I keep saying running. Expanded flat, because this is your A wave, this is your B wave, and then that would be your C wave down there. But I don't know. This looks like an ABC here. So I look at it going, okay, maybe it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as I've talked to you guys about. So overall, what we're looking for is just a move above this swing high here. And right now, it looks like we're trying to do it in 5 waves. So we'll continue to watch how this plays out. But, Bitcoin continue, or if DXY continues heading up, none of the markets should be very safe overall. Again, that doesn't mean that everything drops when every second this rises. It doesn't follow it tick for tick. But if you've got this trending upward with DXY, everything else should be trending downward. That's what we should expect overall. So, a dollar deflation type scenario. All right. So there you go, guys. I'm running a bit late here, 10 minutes. I really appreciate you guys joining in. I will be back on Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time to take another look. So hopefully you guys can join me then. Or if you'd like to get up with us every day, guys, join us at howtotradetowin.com. You've already seen some of our members talking in here today. They are such a great group of people, man. You're bound to make a lot of friendships in there. But you can do that there, like I said, at howtotradetowin.com. We'd love to have you there. Like I said, other than that, if you don't do that, just follow me and join me there on Wednesday and Friday, okay? 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Love to have you joining in. As always, though, guys, here's the big thing. Here's the big thing nobody wants to talk about. No matter how good it looks, there are no guarantees in trading. Trading is speculation. The definition of speculation says risk is necessarily involved. If there is risk, that means there is no guarantee. And if there is no guarantee, that means your risk management needs to be the thing that you spend the most time on, all right? That's where you make your money, guys. The only thing you control in the market is how much you lose, all right? Y'all take care. Have a great day. Catch y'all later.